So we got three readings, one from the book of Ecclesiastes. There's a psalm for the day, there always is, for each Sunday. We're not going to look at that one too much. But the three that kind of go together, actually, are Ecclesiastes and Luke and Colossians. So the first one is from the book of Ecclesiastes. Now, Ecclesiastes is a book of wisdom written by Solomon toward the end of his life. In fact, the final verses of Ecclesiastes aren't even written by Solomon. It's almost as though he's like writing this book, he's at the end of his life, and then he doesn't quite finish it, so somebody else puts an epilogue on here. It says, these were the words of the teacher of Israel, and blah, 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 kind of like that. And for those of you who aren't familiar with Ecclesiastes, it's kind of all about the meaningless of all the efforts and things we try and do in life. And just in case you're not familiar with Solomon, let me introduce Solomon to you. Solomon was the king of Israel, and when he was very young, he became king, and he asked God. God came to him and said, "What do you want as king? What gift would you seek from me?" And Solomon said, "I would like wisdom to rule the people." And God said, "Since you asked for a good gift, wisdom, I'm going to give you wealth and riches and all the other stuff, and power and fame and all that stuff." And so Solomon's life was big. If the ideas go big or go home, nobody gets to stay except Solomon, because he went big. His wisdom was so famous that the queen of Sheba, which is Egypt, came to visit him. You probably remember the story of the two women who were sleeping in bed, and they both had babies, and one of the babies died. And the woman whose baby died switched their babies in the middle of the night and said, "No, and they got up in the morning and she said, "No, I'm sorry, your baby died, this is my baby." And the woman's like, no, that's my baby. And she says, "No, that's my baby. No, that's my baby." And so they went to court in front of the king, and they got in line, as you would when the king's sitting to do his judgments, and they brought the case. My baby, no my baby, no my baby, no my baby, no witnesses. What do you do? And Solomon said, "How about this? We're going to bring me my sword and we'll cut the baby in half and we'll give each of them half of the baby." And one's got fine. And the other's like, "No!" And you know whose baby it was. And Solomon, so that way of discerning the truth in the "there are no witnesses" situation kind of cemented Solomon's wisdom. And so at the end of his life, so he goes through his life, he's got more chariots than you can imagine, more horses, he's got like hundreds of concubines and hundreds of wives. He's wealthy beyond belief. So he basically, Solomon almost like, if you can think of it without the cultural stuff, Solomon has achieved the American dream. He has all the women he wants at his disposal. He has all the money he wants at his disposal. He lives in a fortress. He owns an army to go do his bidding. He's got slaves to build things for him. He has achieved everything anybody ever goes after. And then he writes this book at the end of his life, and he starts it out with this verse. This is Ecclesiastes 1 verse 2. "Vanity of vanities," says the preacher. Vanity of vanities, everything is vanity, which means meaningless, pointless. So Solomon gets to the end of everything that you and I are tempted to seek after. And his conclusion on having reached what we so often are tempted to go after is, "I have got it, I found it, I own it, and it doesn't provide what we think it's going to provide." And that's the lesson for today, is to think about our lives and our strivings and hear from Solomon and Jesus and Paul that the temptations of the world make promises about identity, security, peace, and meaning, joy that they can't actually give us. Just like Satan with the apple and Eve and Adam saying that this apple will be something that you want. And so they went after it, and they found out that the thing they wanted, that they thought they were going to get, was the thing that brought them death instead of life. And that's what Solomon found out too. Let's just read a little bit more. Ecclesiastes 1:12-14, I, the preacher, have been king over Israel and Jerusalem, and I applied my heart to seek and search out by wisdom all that is done under heaven. It is an unhappy business that God has given to the children of man to be busy with. I have seen everything that is done under the sun, and behold, all is vanity and a striving after the wind. And sometimes we feel like that, and sometimes we ought to feel like that, and we don't, because we think we're getting somewhere by chasing one of these things that Solomon got and found was ultimately meaningless. Let's read on. Ecclesiastes chapter 2. I hated all my toil with which I toiled under the sun, seeing that I have to leave it to another man who's going to come after me, and who knows whether he's going to be wise or a fool, and yet he will be master for everything I worked for, and use all my wisdom under the sun. So this too is meaningless. I turned about and gave my heart up to despair over all the toil of my labors under the sun. Because sometimes a person who has toiled with wisdom and knowledge and skill has to leave everything to be enjoyed by someone who did not work for it. This is also vanity, and it's a great evil. What has man from all the toil and striving of his heart with which he toils under the sun? All his days are full of sorrow, and his work is a vexation. Even in the night his heart does not rest, and this is also meaningless, it's vanity. There's nothing better for a person than he should eat, drink, and find enjoyment in his work. This also I saw is from the hand of God. Notice all the other toilings, all that grabbing, all the striving, all the seeking to get whatever that is, the earthly thing, it's all vanity, and it's meaningless, and it's a chasing after the wind. And then you get to this little thing here, there's nothing better for a person than to eat, drink, and find enjoyment in his work. This, I saw, is from the hand of God. So that's a different thing. To find enjoyment in what you do, day in and day out, to be enjoying in your work, that's not vanity, that's from the hand of God. For apart from him, who can eat or who can have any enjoyment? For to the one who pleases God has given wisdom and knowledge and joy. That's the difference, and joy. But to the sinner he's given the business of gathering and collecting, only to give to the one who pleases God. So this also is vanity and chasing after the wind. So Solomon here, having got everything, finds out it's all meaningless. And he encourages people to find joy today in what you're doing. This is where your life is. It's not in gathering, it's not in what you can achieve, whether or not it's fame or glory or power or money or whatever. It's right now in the things you do on the earth and in the relationships you have on the earth. It's right now. So if any of you feel like you're in the trap of this going after stuff, listen to somebody who got it and said it's meaningless. A lot of people would say, I'd like my own chance to find out that it's meaningless. I'd love to find out it's meaningless to be a multimillionaire. but wise people will listen to those who've already been there and say, I'm going to listen to this. So let's move forward to the other side, where Jesus is talking about the very same thing. Luke 12. Someone in the crowd said to Jesus, Teacher, tell my brother to divide the inheritance with me. So what's going on here is that parents are allowed to leave stuff and wherever they want, right? And typically in this society, the oldest son would get twice as much as everybody else. So if there's 3 sons, you would divide your inheritance into 4 parts, and the first 2 parts would go to the oldest son. And then each of the other sons would get 1/4 of it. And that's kind of the way it worked. And this guy evidently felt that was unfair. And he went to Jesus to arbitrate. And Jesus said to him, now I'm on verse 14, Man, I don't know if he said it that way, but Man, who made me a judge or arbitrator over you? I like to think he said it that way. What? And he said to Jesus, said to them, so now he's talking to everybody, using this as a teachable moment, and he says exactly the same thing in a different way that Solomon has told us from 900 years before Jesus. Take care and be on your guard against all covetousness. Covetousness is the desire to own or have stuff in such a way that it either steals your joy, or you're willing to compromise your integrity to get there, or maybe you lay it. If you remember on the Ecclesiastes back there, one of the little things that said in verse 23, it said, even in the night his heart does not rest. So if you've got a striving after something and you're like losing sleep over it, whatever, that could be moving into that area of covetousness too. And it's that consuming desire for things that drives you. And Jesus says, take care and be on your guard against that, all covetousness. For one's life does not consist in the abundance of his possessions. And then he told them a story. And remember, usually when Jesus tells a story, it's not because you've done something right. He told this parable. The land of a rich man produced plentifully, and he thought to himself, what should I do? I have nowhere to store my crops. And he said, that's what I'll do. I'll tear down my barns, and I'll build bigger ones. And there I will store all my grains and my goods. And I will say to my soul, soul, you have ample goods laid up for many years. Relax, eat, drink, and be merry. But God said to that man, fool, this night your soul is required of you, and the things you have prepared, whose will they be? Isn't that exactly the same thing Solomon said? You work, you store it, you save, and then it goes to someone else who didn't work for it. The things you stored up, whose will they be? So it is. So is the one who lays up treasure for himself and is not rich toward God. That's an important little sentence to sort of parse out a little bit. It doesn't say, so is anyone who manages to make a lot of money. It doesn't say, so is anyone who manages to be successful. It doesn't say, so is anyone who manages to be wealthy. It says, so is the one who lays up treasure for himself and is not rich. It's not generous toward God. And how are you generous toward God? How does that work? What does that look like, being generous toward God? You take the money out of your pocket. Here, God, this is 20. No, wait, this is 100. I want to be generous. God tells us how to be generous to Him. It's to love other people. No one can love. So someone who says, John, I think, said, whoever says they love God and hate their brothers is a liar. James tells us true religion is this, to look out for widows and orphans and powerless people. And so the way you love God, the way you're rich toward God, is to take care of people, because people are the heart of God. So we got this principle that Solomon lays out simply from his experience of having gotten everything any of us ever feel drawn to go after, and finding out that it's all chasing after the wind and it's meaningless. And then Jesus drives home the same principle with his parable about a man who achieved it and then had to die and then died that night. So all that worrying, all the chasing, all the striving was to hand it off to somebody else who didn't work for it, didn't know how to use it well or anything like that. Now Paul is writing to the church in Colossae, to the Colossian Christians, and he gets practical, very, very nitty-gritty and specific. And that's what those letters are: Galatians, Ephesians, Philippians, Colossians, and 2 Thessalonians, all those. Those are letters to the people in those churches. And so they tend to be very practical letters. So I'm just going to read this whole thing to you right now, because I think that it's just so clear and practical, I almost don't need to say anything. But by the time we get to the end of it, I'll probably have something to say. Preacher's got to preach. Colossians 3, verses 1 to 17. If then you have been raised with Christ, seek the things that are above, where Christ is seated at the right hand of God. Set your mind on things that are above, not on earthly things. For you have died, and your life is hidden with Christ in God. When Christ, who is your life, appears, then you also will appear with him in glory. Put to death, therefore, whatever is earthly in you: sexual immorality, impurity, passion, evil desires, and covetousness, which is idolatry. On account of these things, the wrath of God is coming. And these you too once walked when you were living in them, but now you must put them all away. Anger and wrath and malice and slander and obscene talk from your mouth. Don't lie to one another, seeing that you put off the old self with its practices, and have put on the new self, which is being renewed in knowledge after the image of its creator. Here, there is not Greek or Jew, circumcised or uncircumcised, barbarian, Scythian, slave or free, but Christ is all and in all. Put on then, as God's chosen ones, holy and beloved, compassionate hearts, kindness, humility, meekness, and patience, bearing with one another, and if anyone has a complaint against another, forgiving each other. As the Lord has forgiven you, so you must also forgive. And above all these things, put on love, which binds everything together in perfect harmony. And let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts, to which you were indeed called in one body, and be thankful. Let the word of Christ dwell in you richly, teaching and admonishing one another in wisdom, singing psalms and hymns and spiritual songs with thankfulness in your heart to God. And whatever you do in word or deed, do everything in the name of the Lord Jesus, giving thanks to God through him. So, just to hit this briefly, it starts out with the presupposition that Christ has died and risen again, and we belong to Christ. And that's the seed that's planted in us. That's the Holy Spirit. And so we make a mistake if we read this as a list of things to do to be acceptable to God. Because that is not what Paul says. That's where our mind automatically goes, but that's not what Paul says. Paul says, since Christ has died, since God has shown his love for you, since while we were all sinners, Christ died to save us, since his love has been poured out on you, because of what's already been done for you, let that seed grow in you, and let it do its work to put away all this stuff and put on all this stuff, because we are receivers of grace, and it affects us. I don't know if you've ever been had an incident where you have really received either a gift, like a really gracious and large gift, or where someone has forgiven you of something that you did that was really hurtful. But I've noticed in both of those incidences, there's something that happens in the heart where there's something that kind of cracks open and you want to be a better person. You want to grow because you have been forgiven. And that's what this is. That's the whole universe. It's the love of God in Christ flowing through the universe, bringing forgiveness and love, and we have all turned away. And God has laid on him all our sin, and it's taken care of. And so it's the love and forgiveness and welcoming the arms of God. And we say we don't deserve it. That's why we confess our sin. We say we don't deserve it, but we need God to crack open our hearts. And when we admit we don't deserve it, and then we remember the love poured out on us, we're like, wow. And then it becomes a response of thankfulness in the heart instead of a response of, holy cow, I better do this or God's going to be saved. Because that's the relationship God wants with us. That's what Christ died for us. To let our hearts overflow with thankfulness and be changed from the inside. And when that happens, he moves us away from seeking all these things that Solomon found empty and that Jesus talked about in his parable, and that Paul gives us the specific list of things to move away from and move toward. And so today we're going to take a look at something. And it's, again, God has poured his love out on us in so many ways. And one way is in this connection with each other and with the living, risen Christ. And so we're going to take that today, and I encourage you just to, as we confess our sins, remember your sins, but remember them as the thing which has been hurled into the sea, into the fall. And sometimes you shouldn't say thank God like in a flippant way, but if you're remembering your sin and God has thrown it in the sea, thank God is the perfect response. Thank God that is taken from you in Christ Jesus. Let's pray. Father, boy, are we all susceptible to chasing after the wind. And for some reason, it doesn't always matter that we see other people who have done it, who have sacrificed everything to achieve some earthly end, whether it's fame or wealth or power or security, even in earthly things. We see people who have done that, and we see that they have not achieved that. The thing that they felt in their mind they were seeking, they never actually got through their earthly struggles. We see that in Solomon, who achieved everything and found it all. Father, help us to hear and learn from as wise people, Solomon, to hear Jesus' parable about this rich man who thought he had it all and had done it and arrived, and the only thing he had arrived at his own demise that evening. Help us to hear that, to take it to heart, to be wise, because you have poured your love on us, and you have forgiven us. And all the things that we think stack up against us, you have taken away and hurled into the sea. And we say, thank God we don't have to carry that around anymore. And now, Father, fill us with your Spirit, so that we can put away the old stuff and seek first your kingdom, and let you add all the old stuff to us, so that we can walk in faith and hope and love, and walk and live in the kingdom of God, which is righteousness, peace, and joy, which we have sought in other things. Forgive us and guide us, so that we seek in you that which can only be found in you. Righteousness,